I'll send
Beautiful.
it out to recording though when I get it. So.
Oh, how lovely, how lovely. That is great. So, okay, so then, I think that what I would like to do today, I would like to go through the celebration first, and then I would like to go through all the movements of the first section, everything that we have done, then we are refined, and perhaps as we go through, remind you of the details that we have clarified and the different places that we all discover as we were doing it. So it's almost like a culminating, a sort of a completion of this part of our study of the first section. We have worked a lot in the first section. And then maybe, hopefully next year, we can work in the second section and so forth. But the first section, it always is going to be refined because you're going to get it more and more connected. And then as you become connected, there will be places in you that perhaps you said, well, I'm not clear about that, or there's a part of me that I get lost in this moment. And lost means that you get a little bit disconnected from the sensation itself. Because remember that the last time I told you that this ultimately when all the movements come seamlessly connected between the path, the connections, the path, and the coronal plane, then you're always connected inside of the matrix, and then you begin to feel it. If there is a place that it is like a little bit nebulous in your consciousness, and then you find out what it is. Either the connection is not completely clear, or the path gets a little bit confused, or the gravitational expansion, the 10th principle of constant changing, going from the upper to the center to the lower, inside of the continuity of the movement, because that's going to become more and more and more naturally present as you practice, because you will be able to be the fourth entity, or the one entity, because remember that once you get the space, the energy, and the movement, then yourself is the one that keeps everything together naturally as part of the union. And then actually the three are united in the one, and then the one is what experiences the unity of the three, and it makes it everything into the present moment. So all that is going to happen. Impossible not to, because now you are in your way. And I think that the most important thing that you have learned through all this time is the accuracy of the connection is the first frame that connects you to the path always. So the connection is the completion and the beginning simultaneously, or the next path. And that's why you're learning about I think that you are becoming more and more clear. Like the sphere of Earth, for example, when you define Earth, the next frame is riding the wave. And so it's not that all of a sudden you're going to go up with your arms. It's that the frame becomes completed into the flowing, into expansion. And then in the moment that you get to expansion, the frame of expansion becomes this encircling the heart that is taking you to heaven. So you will erase little by little the idea that you are moving from your skeleton only, or you are lifting your arms or doing it. You are always connected to the matrix, which is the three-dimensional relationship that allows you to be inside of the center of a space. The matrix, remember, we have not talked about too much, but you remember the matrix is very important. The tree of life is the center of the matrix. And then, but the center of the matrix has the front and the back and the right and the left. It's not flat. So when all those connections from the tree of life become three-dimensional, that is the matrix. Yeah, that is what we call the matrix. So in the tree of life, that's the reason that it was mysterious, because we only have one flat image of it. In that time, we could never understand that that image will be a three-dimensional century. Impossible. So it took a long time to really get to that point, that we can really actually make something completely flat, like a piece of paper, into a three-dimensional, fourth-dimensional reality. So that was the gift of it. So anyway, are we good? Any questions about anything? Everything is good. I watched this morning maybe 5-10 minutes of the last video. Maybe it wasn't the last, the one before maybe, but it was really good. I really enjoyed what I heard myself saying. You know, I enjoy it because I'm saying it, but I'm not carrying it within my brain. But when I hear it, I said, oh, yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. And then I let it go. I'm not a carrying library. Thank God, no, my God. Wow, when it will be, can you imagine? It will be a ultimate enslavement. I have to carry everything. So anyway, that's fantastic. So I'm gonna move the chair back and maybe we'll do together the celebration. Yeah, and then wonderful, fantastic. Oh, I think I have to move the chair. So I'm going to say the words. You don't have to say the words or whatever. The words is just for you when you feel comfortable. You know that that's coming to being. So it's a personal thing. For me, it's not because everything came together. So we're going to just start at 0 point very gently. Wonderful. So 5, 6, 7, and 8, and I'm going to start ascending through the centers and ground the merging of self-equilibrium with the universal equilibrium of life. Excuse me. Now, ground the natural ascension that is the movement of life. Yeah, beautiful, perfection. And this notion, the reason that I got a little bit because I wanted to remind you that central crown and crown are different. Central crown is the unity between consciousness, unity, and crown. And then self is actually one breath higher when you descend or wherever you're going, because crown is the moment of the fountain. It's not just the definition of. Yeah, I'm trying not confusion with that. So we're going to do it again. And the reason that I take 4 counts because we are ascending through centers, you know. So it will go into the ascension and it will go crown, the merging of self-equilibrium, which is not, the natural ascension, that is the movement of life. That's the first movement. Yeah. And in this movement, the circle of it, remember, this is the first time that we are extending all the way through until we get to 0 point again. And no other place occurred before that, because usually remember that from central ground, we coming back to self. And the reason that we coming to self from central ground is because that's the easiest way to experience that we are descending, ascending at the same time. Now, in the first movement of the celebration, when we go to crown, and then we just said the natural ascension, that is the movement of life, what we're doing is we're doing the whole circle, but inside of the 3-dimensional center of your heart. So it's not that we bring in the arms down, it's that we're going through all the 7 centers until we get back into 0 point balance through the natural ascension of the movement of life, that part of it. So shall we do it one more time together? Yeah. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to enter foundation. Then I am ascending. Then I go crown. The natural ascension, that is the movement of life. The second and third dimension, is balance, consciousness, the image of the light that united to the source of its light, and unity, the spirit of life, expressing through whole awareness the whole mind of life. So just erase it for a few seconds and then we come back again. Excuse me, because before, as we said, first dimension, ground, right? first dimension crowd, the natural ascension, that is the movement of life. So what you're doing here, remember that what we're taking away is the idea that you are here and your arms are moving, that you are moving your arms. What's happening is through the periphery of the movement, all the centers are passing through the center of unity and motion, and then returning to the beginning of the movement. So remember when I said we're crowning ourselves, that all these dimensions and space are always coming from the center of your body. It's not that you are here and you are moving, you're doing the movement. The movement through the periphery is opening and expanding each center as you're moving through all the 7 centers. Yes, so let's do the let me can you see me a little bit, or I don't know, maybe it's difficult to see, right? Can you see me? Okay, so then the second, which is consciousness, the fulfillment of life, right? No, consciousness, the image and the likeness united to the source of this life, and unity, the spirit of life. And then when you get to go to the third eye, the center of gravity changes and it puts you into the center of a space. So you are not in the full extension of it. Bring you into the center of a space, and then the first half of the circle goes around it, and the second half of the circle inside of you bring you to the place that it is the center of your chest, right there. Yes, so 3 things are happening here. The first thing is that the first half of the circle connecting to the second part of the circle, right here, the third eye, expressing as whole awareness, the whole mind of life. Yeah, and then this place is in between. The whole mind of life is in between. It's almost moving hard, but it's not really. It's a little bit higher, just 2 or 3 millimeters higher than moving hard. Yeah, and then from then it goes into the second, the fourth dimension. It's the fourth dimension, presence. Yeah, the fourth dimension presence, unfolding as unity and motion, the eternal moment of life. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
The fourth dimension.
The presence of love, that's all.
Yeah, the fourth dimension isn't here, present, and for the fourth dimension, presence. The fourth dimension, presence. The presence of love, unfolding as unity and motion, the eternal moment of life. Yes, so let's go back very gently into that place, and then we go with that one. It's okay? So we're going to go into let's go from the third eye, that place in the third eye, right here, expressing as whole awareness, the whole mind of life. And then the fourth dimension, presence, the presence of love, unfolding as unity and motion, the eternal moment of life. So just for a second, we'll do it again from here, because many things are happening here. And the presence is actually the float, the presence of love, the presence of present. And then the presence of love is actually extending the wave from that place, extending the wave into the horizon. And then in the moment that you get to horizon, that is the beginning of the encircling wave that is going to bring you completely back into 0 point balance. Yes, so are you okay? Yeah.
You go all the way to horizon with that?
No, not necessarily all the way to horizon, because it never gets extended to complete horizon, because then you wouldn't be able to initiate the wave that is taking you around into the encircling wave. This is the first time that we do the encircling wave in the celebration. And so from presence, the presence of love, and certain the presence of unfolding as unity in motion, the eternal moment of life. So then the connection, let me see if I can get you to experience. So if I don't know if I am a little bit more back. It's exact. This is exact too, because it is your, at the same time that you're doing these motions, and at the same time that you're saying what you're saying, even if you're saying a lot or not, you are inside of the center of space constantly. So from the presence of love unfolding. You see where I am right there? A horizon will be right here, and that one is like maybe 1 inch below, maybe. It's difficult to say because it depends on the skeleton in us. And then unfolding as unity and motion, the eternal moment of life. So when you unfold the wave from here, let me see if I can really. The unfolding of the wave will take you inside of the whole movement until you arrive to 0 point. So it's the completion of the encircling wave. Yeah, that place. Let me see, where are you? Right there, right there, right there, right there. Wonderful. Yes. Yeah. Let me see, where are you? Right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. That's good. That's good. I'm not sure if it is for the angle that is occurring, but I have the feeling momentarily that when you go from not horizon, but from the unfolding of presence, the presence of love, the circle here, even though you're going from here down, every single frame has the three-dimensionality of the movement of your arms. So you have to be careful that the arms are not exactly. So every single moment is three-dimensional inside of your arms in order to assist you to descend to the inner arc. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, like there, right there, and now right there, 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 right there. Wonderful. Yeah. You have to follow through completely every single frame of the encircling wave, and it will take you to 0 point. You don't have to get there. You will arrive to 0 points balance by running through the circle. Right there, 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 right there. Exactly, Carolina. And by the time you get to 0 point, your palm is going to be facing up. Almost completely right there. That would be the place. Okay. The presence of love unfolding as unity and motion, the eternal moment of life. Okay. As you can see, this is a trap, the whole thing, because it's very, very defined. So let's do the first part, starting with the first one, and then and ending with this one, the fourth, and then we'll continue. So in order to get continuity, okay? The first dimension, ground, the natural ascension, that is the movement of life. The second and third dimension, consciousness, the image and the likeness, unity, the spirit of life, unfolding. This is returning to 0 point, and then the half of the circle, and the other half of the circle, and then we'll stay in here at the throat when we say the fourth dimension, in order then to say the presence of love, unfolding. The unfolding becomes the wave, the encircling wave. The first word, unfolding, is the second wave that is going to take you back into 0 point. And then from there, we will continue with fifth and sixth dimensions. Let's do it together then, okay? 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 3, and now the first dimension, crown, the natural ascension, that is the movement of life. The second and third dimension is consciousness, the image and the likeness reunited to the source of his light, and unity, the spirit of life, expressing, this is when the center changes, as whole awareness, the whole mind of life. And now the fourth dimension, presence, the presence of love, unfolding as unity in motion, the eternal moment of life. The fifth and sixth dimension, balance, the fulfillment of life, and beauty, the illumination of life, expressing through the heart the boundless feeling of life. And then come down for a moment. Let's work in that one for a few seconds. Okay, just return it. Then remember that these are the three planes of the horizontal plane. Yeah, when we get into, and this is fantastic because it connects the head and it connects the crown and the shoulders and everything to the first horizontal plane, which it will be part of heaven. It will be a different planes, but it will be heaven, central crown, or it will be also infinity. Those are the three planes in which the centralization of your head liberates all the centers from above. So the first plane is the plane, this one that we're talking about, consciousness and unity. The second plane, which is what we do now, is actually balance and beauty, yeah. And then the third plane will be whole nature and infinite regeneration. This is a very important plane because that is the plane that you express the radius of the circle, the free radius of the circle, the radius of the circle of the whole circle, which is the radius of the mind, the radius of the heart, and then the radius of foundation, which is all the way here, right here. And those are the radius of the movements that we use in the free releases. Yeah, remember when the free releases, when we go into the first release, for example, the release of suspended balance, and we then circling the way to come back, and then offering self is actually the horizontal plane of the centralization of your pelvis. So your pelvis is in here and you open your arms around, is that the center of your pelvis becomes fully expanded through the radius of the circles of the arms. Yeah, so wonderful. So then let's go back to the dimension of balance and beauty, and then the illumination of life. So we're gonna go we're gonna do the fifth and sixth dimension. So from here, the fifth and sixth dimensions: balance, the fulfillment of life, and beauty, the illumination of life. And this is a very, very important place. Wonderful one, right there. Okay, 1 second. Lovely. Just extend it very gently and come down. Just extend the wave, just come down for a moment, because I need to show you something that is very important. I don't want to spend a lot of time this, but we never done it before. So balance here. The center of balance is actually the center of your entire torso in the center of a space. So don't think that the center of balance is resting with your arms upon you. The center of balance is the centralization of your heart and the suspension of the entire 0 point. Exactly, right there, right? And then from here, then expressing through the heart, that's when it goes into it. And then from here, the boundless feeling of life. Wonderful. Come down for a moment, just let it go for a moment. When you get to do the release of the last part, the boundless feeling of love, of life, the boundless feeling of love, the boundless feeling of life, excuse me, the boundless feeling of life. The circle begins, it doesn't get directed into forward. The circle of the radius of the circle already comes from the center of the heart. So each point is another point of extent. Beautiful, beautiful. Each point from the heart becomes another point of extensions of your arms. Let me just, yeah, beautiful. I don't get to see Lois. Yeah, absolutely, right there. Wonderful. Okay. So let me just clarify a little bit that, see if it's possible. Yeah. So this is the plane. For me, this is the plane of the heart, right? So it's not resting. You see, it's not resting here. This is resting. This is at the center of the heart, right here. And this is like the plane that connects me to the heart and it connects me to inside. So from here, when I come back to the center of the heart, right here, the left pass crisscross, the right crisscross through me, and the left crisscross to me. So they are not, I'm not on top of them. I am actually inside of the heart. So it means that the circle continue this way and continue that way. Yeah. And then from here, when I open this, the radius of the circle, the arm crisscross the other as energy, and it opens through every single frame of motion in the space, changing till you get to expansion, actually. Yeah. So it is the entire engagement of all the muscles of your being, from the center of your heart through all the different planes that correspond to that engagement. And that's what we're getting into it. Yeah, wonderful. Wonderful expansion, and then you're descending from it. Yeah. All right. I would okay with that. Let me just tell you something. I'm sorry. Remember that the suspended diamond, the crisscross of the energy goes in one direction and the other energy goes in the other direction, and it passing through. Yeah. So from here too, even if you are at the center of the heart, right here, it passing through, this arm passing through, this arm passing through. So when you open, it's not that you're going to open it forward, it's that you're going to open it already inside of your heart to give it all the planes that correspond to expansion. Yeah, beautiful, 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 right there. And that's where you're descending back into self. Yeah. Let me see what that opening from you. Yeah, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. That's good. That's good. You have to be careful that you don't open forward, okay? It doesn't have a forward. It has already a center. Your arms are opening through every single frame, getting you to the center of expansion. So exactly. Yes, that's where you're descending. Can you feel it in the engagement of your arms when you don't skip any frame when you're going through the radius of the circle? And your understanding doesn't go back. It's just open through the center, and it's the center that is the radius of the circle. It's not you that is defining the radius of the circle. It's the center of your heart that is getting you to the radius of the circle. Yeah, beautiful. So are we clear with that? Okay, so then let me see, Carolina, one more time, since you're there, and right there, 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 right there. Wonderful. And then descending. Fantastic. Now, remember that when you are, as you getting into the plane that correspond to expansion, the plane will engage you to your neck, your head, and the crown automatically. So when you open from the heart through the radius of the circle, you're going to go up each frame as you open radius of the circle, because you are going up at the same time that you're going sideways. Exactly. Yes. So the arms are engaged through the plane, is engaging the free centers above with the free centers below through the radius of the circle as the arms. Exactly. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Wonderful. Right there, right there, right there. Fantastic. Fantastic. So let's do it together now from the beginning to get to this place. We're going to do the crown, consciousness, unity, presence, balance, and beauty, and then we'll complete that for now. We'll do it together inside of the flow, okay? The best we can. Now you're understanding more about the radius of the circle. Beautiful. 5, 6, 7, 0.1, 2, 3. The first dimension, crown, the natural ascension, that is the movement of life. The second And third dimension is consciousness, the image and the likeness united to the source of its light. And beauty, the illumination of light, expressing through the heart the boundless feeling.
No, we're doing the whole mind.
I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. I apologize, because we have to do the whole awareness, the whole mind of life.
Whole awareness, yeah.
It's okay. It's so many things that getting together that I get all of a sudden with so many things putting together. It's a puzzle putting together, and we haven't done it in this level of okay, so we do it again, and I apologize. After the first triad, it's called expressing as whole awareness the whole mind of life. Yeah. 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first dimension, crown, the natural ascension. That is the movement of life. The second and third dimension, consciousness, the image and the likeness united to the source of its light. And beauty, the illumination of life, expressing as whole awareness the whole mind of life. The fourth dimension, presence, the presence of love and wholeness as unity of motion. Fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, fulfillment of life, and beauty, the illumination of life, expressing in the heart the boundless feeling of life. The seventh dimension, self, merging our past and our future as the reality of life. And the eighth and ninth dimension, whole nature and infinite regeneration, renewing all physical reality with the ecstasy of life. And the 10 dimensions, foundation, paradise, merging all centers and dimensions as the fulfillment, that is the divine paradigm. 0. How is it? It's okay? We need to clarify it a little bit more self, a little bit, just for a second, okay? The self. You will be noticed that when you get to the three senses of the self, the center of whole awareness is a different place than where you were in the first triad, right? Crown, consciousness of unity, expressing as whole awareness. I am back into a different place, and then the circle open above and the circle opens below, and that's when you get to presence. And then the gesture of presence is that we don't have it in any other place. It's part of the whole movement when you go to infinity's gate, but it's the point in a space that the arms are not resting down or not resting up. It's the center of the entire torso and scapulas and the shoulder girdle, in which the center of the throat becomes completely open by the very nature of the polarity that existed between the right and the left of your being, as they correspond to the free above and free below and the centers. So that would be the gesture of self. The gesture of the throat. And that is the presence of love when I'll take you into unfolding as unity and motion, the eternal moment of life. Yeah, that one is beautiful right there and right there, wonderful, and then wonderful, and then, yeah. Very good, very good, very good. Let me go a little bit back, and I wanted to show you something. I'm going to go back and then I'm going to do the radius of the circle. And I'm going to try to show you what the difference is between moving your arms through the radius of the circle and moving your arms through the heart through the radius of the circle. So it becomes a little bit different, just a little bit different. And I want you to see the difference in a little bit. The radius of the circle. If I'm not doing it from the radius of the circle, I'm going to open and extend my arms as I'm moving through. I'm going to open and extend my arms as I'm moving through. If I do it from the center of the radius of the circle of the heart, then the heart is opening, and the 3 centers above and 3 centers below are connecting through the radius. So make sure that when you practice a little bit, that you make the difference between the just moving your arms, which will be okay, or moving your arm from the center of the heart, because then if you move it from the center of the heart, the 3 centers above is going to open gradually, and the 3 centers below your legs is going to show up completely in that movement. Yeah, shall we try one more time from that place, let's try from the balance, yeah, and then we'll continue with it from balance. Okay, I'm sorry. So we're going to go into balance from foundation, just moving very gently, and we're going the 5th and 6th dimension. Balance, the fulfillment of life, and beauty, the illumination of life. Expressing through the heart the boundless feeling of life. Yeah? And now self, we go through a circle and we come back to self right there. The center of life, the 7th dimension, the center of life, merging all past and all future as the reality of one. And then the 8th and 9th dimension, for nature and infinite regeneration, fulfilling our physical reality through the ecstasy of life. It's actually renewing our physical reality, okay? And then the 10th dimension, foundation, paradise, it goes to infinity gate, merging all centers and dimensions as the fulfillment that is the divine paradigm, 0 point. Just rest for a second. So I'm just going to move myself to the center of the chair, the back of the chair for a moment, relax for an instant, and then just let me be for a moment here together. Just we'll come back again. So let me tell you what it is that we do. We are defining the 3 planes, right? The 3 planes are very important because the planes, the elbow, the diamond that exists with each plane is a diamond, right? The diamond facing up, when it's in the upper plane, it actually releases the right and the left of the center of your head on top of the atlas. And that plane is totally important because that's the opening of the first triad then, you know, crown, consciousness, and unity. And then when it goes to the field of, no, that's when we go to the heart, is when it opens completely through the radius of the circle. And that takes a little bit of practice, the radius of the circle, because you may have to loosen the energy of your arms in order to make sure that everything engages through each frame and space as you're opening from the center of your heart. And that's why then when you get to the self, it's another plane, but we don't call it a horizontal plane because it's the center of life. Yeah, it's the center of the whole thing right there. That's the place of it. And then from here, self, the center of life, merging all centers, merging all past and all future as the reality of one. Yeah, and then release it for a second and let it be. Let's do that again. The one, when you get to the one in this place, sounds like very what's the word? Very defining it, but this is the center of central heart, right? The center of central heart, the right and the left. This is the center of self right here. And this will be the closing of it. Remember that this one is like merging everything inside of the center of yourself. If I will be here, I will be everything merging inside of me. Yeah, here everything merges through the center of myself. The other one, the third one, central heart, is the center of a space. So they are different. The center of a space.
Christy, we can't see your hands.
Oh, I said I gotta go. I'm sorry. Yeah. Maybe I need to go a little bit more back.
Or just stand up, it's fine.
Oh, I said that would be okay. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. So the self is right here. Central heart. Central heart is right here, right? And central heart, look, it's not there, right? It's at the center of your being, right here. It's not there, right? It's at the center of the vertical extension of your being, central heart, yeah? And now, this one then, merging all past and all future as the reality of one. And the oneness is not as the full extension of all directions, it's just the balance between the two. So the heart is still existing, but it's not polarizing into the natural expansion. It's just the balance between the natural expansion and resting within themselves. Remember this one? We are familiar with this one. Yeah? This is like coming into yourself. If you do it, you will sense it, that all the joints merge into the center of your being. This one, all the joints expand into the center of your being. And this one is the center of space. Central heart is the center of space. So each has a different definition in your mind, but it also represents another connection to yourself inside of yourself. Yeah. So then, from self, which will be like that one, self, right? This is the self. Then merging all past and all future as the reality of one. And what this is like the figure 8. Remember, the first half of the figure 8 and the second half of the figure 8 merge together into the center of your heart. The infinity figure. First half, second half, merged into the center of your heart. First half and first half merged into the center of your heart. Let me see, what will be the first half of the... It's complex. This is self, right? This is self. Now, the first half, you see how it goes around itself? It goes around right here. So it doesn't go out there. It's just from here, the first half and the second half merge themselves into self. Like that. Beautiful. And this is a little bit, this one needs practice because we think that we're going to extend a wave or something. It's not. We are encircling the full past and all future as the reality of one. Yeah, let me see where you are, Carolina. When you do the first part of this, the infinite, the first part of the infinite, the second part of the infinite, and they all merge together. Exactly. So the second part of the infinite, it begins after you finish the 1/3 of the first part. Excuse me, but look, this is the first part, right? And right when it gets into here, it connects to the other one. You see, when this one connects, and this one comes. So yeah, that one connect, and that one comes. And that's why you merging it. You merging this and you measure that one, and you come back and you are in the center. Yeah. It's the same as the fountain. Remember the fountain? So exactly, wonderful. But exactly, you got it. It's the first part of the infinite figure, the second part of the infinite figure, descending very gently to the center. And here we are now into the one, as one. When it gets to be one, it gets to be here. As opposed as central heart, as opposed as the prayer of it. Yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's like it's still the circle, but not in the total, in the natural polarity of the 6 directions of space completely. It's in between both worlds, full expansion and full coming in at the center of you. And then you're opening exactly right there, right there. Beautiful, beautiful, wonderful. And let me see. Now, Ellen, it's good. Now keep it alive. When you start going to the first one, you see the first part, all past and all future. Keep it moving them. All past and all future as the reality of one. So it's a whole movement. The first half connect to the second half, all keep on adjusting all together until it gets to the second. I'm sorry?
Easier said than done.
I know. It's just part of your awareness, making sure that you keep it alive so you don't keep it holding all of a sudden. You can hold this one and you do this one. You know what I mean? The first half and the second half connecting to themselves until it gets into the center of that. Beautiful. Yeah. I know it's part of uniting your brain, because our brain is divided between right and left, but it's not. In reality, it's one. So, is that clear? Then it's okay. We are good.
Where is the final, when you get them together, finally, what is the level? Are you at right at the level of the solar plexus there?
No,
or are you?
It's a little 2 or 3 millimeters higher. The level of the solar plexus will be self is in here. Is okay. I'll give you the difference between self and sincere, right? Central heart is almost to self, but it's just a couple of millimeters higher because of the shoulder girdle suspended. And this one, merging all past and all future as the reality of one, is it's not the same level, but it's almost the same level of central heart. You see the difference there, central heart. This is the level of self. This is the level of self. So there are 3 different levels, and you cannot generalize it as being the same. And the
So it's
difference,
a tiny bit lower. It ends up being a tiny bit lower than central heart. Is that right?
No, higher, a little bit higher.
just a little tiny bit. Central heart is in here. Central heart is in here. Merging all past, because it's from self. You see, self is a little bit lower. Self is a little bit, it's not that it's lower, it's just that the angle in which you're sensing the center of a space is different because you are relating to everything. So self will be right here. Yeah? Central heart will be a little bit just there. And then now this one, merging all past and all future as the reality of one, goes maybe like 1 or 2 millimeters higher. But it makes an enormous difference because it makes it natural, totally natural. It doesn't make, it takes it away from the definition. It makes it effortlessly natural, that one.
Yeah, and it's also like the pathway that you use usually to come up to central heart is different. You know, it's from underneath, and this is from on top a little bit, you know.
Exactly, from the balance of the right and the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one and the other one, and then from the top, from the top, because you're defining the second part of the future part of it, yeah, and then right there, and then what you
it's not, you're not stopping there, you're moving on to the next one, yeah. Too.
Yes, absolutely. So anyway, let me see what remember the sphere that you're passing through and all the passing through. So the sphere of all the passing through is actually the natural union of this connection. Even when you're coming a little bit closer, you're not closing your joints into this direction. You're not bending the joints into this direction. You're still existing in the natural extension, which is the whole connection of your arms to your heart. Yeah, in this particular place that we call in one, the one part of yourself. Yeah, right there, Mary Pat. Yeah, do you understand the difference? You have to be careful not to bend in your joints too much, because then you're losing the sixth direction. You exactly, or extending it too much, because then you got to go to central heart. And you go to central heart, it's a completely different definition than that one. Central heart is the center of space. Yeah, it's a completely, so central heart, look, central heart will be right here if I define it, you see? If I go to the center of a space, will be at the center of my being, you see right there, central heart. over here, that is a completely different definition than this definition of wonderful. So you get into beautiful. Through the center, you're always the centers, you're always defining the center of a space, and that's where you clarify. That's it, 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 that's it. Got it. Perfection. Yeah. Wonderful. Perfect. Perfect. Wonderful. Shall we do the whole thing one last time and then we'll continue with something, because already time is going crazy. It's going too much. I know you're going to have questions about this, but if you do, ask, because what you recognize that this is not a salutation as a prayer, or this is not a salutation as a ceremony. It's actually the salutation of the center of your being, relating to all the different connections of the 10 dimensions as it exists as part of your connection to center of space. So it's not ceremonial. It is essentially the definition of your own being. Yeah, it's different. Like this one is ceremonial, right? I see the God in you. Yeah, remember this one? This one is different. It's just me saluting you. Yeah. Now, in this one, we don't salutate anybody. It's totally you. The whole thing is you. And then the whole thing, when it's me, it's you too. Because we are connected through the center that connect us to the two of us as one. It's not you and I, it's the free always, the connection to everything. Yeah. So shall we do it one last time together and then we'll go to the fountain?
Christian,
Yeah.
a question first. The version that Ellen sent out last week said the seventh dimension was the light of the world giving and receiving itself as one. Is that an older version?
The light of the world reunited to the source of its light.
No, giving and receiving itself as one.
Self,
Oh.
that's what self used to be.
No, this
That's
is self.
That's
This
the
is the
older
self.
version.
Giving and receiving. I beg your pardon. I mean, yeah, you're right. It is actually totally right. Giving and receiving itself as one. Yes.
Although I like
I'm now I confuse a little bit.
that's really interesting.
The self, the center of life, self, the center of life, merging our past and our future as the reality of one.
So the other version that you have written is giving and receiving itself as one. But I like merging all future and past as one. I think that
I thought,
no, and here self is actually the light of the world giving and receiving itself as one.
right.
But I think that the light of the world already existed in the first one. The image and the light is united to the source of its light. It's almost the same. But I don't know. I think that just be with it and you tell me, because if we're going to change it, well, let's change it because it's more meaningful, not because we like it more.
Yeah, no.
I like the idea that merging our past and our future as the reality of one, because that is the actual nature of ourselves. We are every single moment merging all past and all future as the reality of one. That's what the self does. Yeah. So
You had already changed it, but I don't remember which was your last version. The one Ellen had sent out might have been the earlier version.
No, I don't think he rewrote it. I think he maybe didn't change it on the paper, but he's telling us now. So.
But you tell me, but we have two versions now, merging all past and all future as the reality of one, or self giving and receiving itself as one. So we can do it in either way, but I think I like it more the second one, merging all past and all future as the reality of one, because it's more descriptive of the very nature of the moment and the very nature of our sense of self, because that's what we do all the time. We are transforming through our presence everything that has been and everything that is going to be into one. The three things, yeah? And the time, the one being time, yeah? Wonderful. So it's up to you. There is any suggestion now that you wanted to say what you prefer? or you want to be with it? Be with it. What do you think?
I think that both of them are really wonderful, and I think that maybe if you remember to say the whatever version the passive emerging as one, or the giving and receiving, and it depends maybe on your moment or something. I don't know.
All right, whatever. So then you can leave it. It's freedom in it, but you will always know what you mean when you do it, because it's not just something that you're saying. You know what I mean? So that's the most important thing. It's not a recitative as something that you're saying. Is something that comprehension of your function inside of the movement, inside of the three-dimensional connection to life. Yeah. So it's all 100% personal or 100% essential, if we wanted to do it that way. Either way, yeah? Okay, are we good? So Mary Pat, you will decide it? Yeah.
It used to be, or that, the first version, I thought the movement also was different a little bit, that it was, you started from here and it was more, you almost went into
merging our
giving
past
and
and future, maybe that's what it was moons ago.
Giving and receiving, this is when it was giving and receiving, it was giving and receiving itself as one, is what
that would be another possibility. But the other one, giving and receiving, you said as one, is good. But what happens, it could be a little bit complex, because you can start resting in the giving and the receiving. So, but instead of giving or past and or future is more fully dimensional in that sense than just the first and the second one, So the most important thing is in the practice that we remember that we are not doing the movement the best you can. Remember that you are the centralization and the experience of the movement. So then you're always moving from the center of a space and not from the center of your structural rest. So you're not moving from resting down, you're moving already from the expansion that exists within the 0 point balance. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so are we okay then? Can we leave it now when you go to the fountain, or you prefer to do this one more time? Well, we do
it all once and then move on to the fountain.
Okay, fantastic, let's do it. 0 point balance, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3. The first dimension, crown, the natural ascension, that is the movement of life. The second and third dimension, balance, consciousness, the image and the likeness united to the source of its light. In unity, the spirit of life, expressing as full awareness the whole mind of life. The fourth dimension, presence, the presence of love, unfolding as unity and motion, the eternal moment of life. The fifth and sixth dimensions, balance, the fulfillment of life, and beauty, the illumination of life, expressing through the heart the boundless feeling of life. The seventh dimension is self, merging our past and our future as the reality of one. The eighth and ninth dimension, whole nature and infinite regeneration, renewing all physical reality through the ecstasy of life. And the 10th dimension, foundation, paradise, reuniting all centers and dimensions as the fulfillment that is the divine paradise. 0, 1, 1. all this is going to become easy when you practice a little bit, because you're going to be able to know if you're stopping, not stopping with the gesture, right? If you put it into words or just leave it as counts, whatever you'll find it. Are you okay? Are you good with me?
Yeah.
I apologize because I didn't really spend a lot of time creating all those, expressing all those details that I'm doing today to you. So anyway, we're going to go to the fountain now. Yeah, giving and receiving. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, so here we go. I'm moving everything out.
Can we stand up and do, you want, how do you want us to do the fountain?
I would like to do the rest standing if it's possible. Yeah,
The what?
do the first in standing placement. Okay, hold on a second. Okay. We have giving and receiving in the first part of the fountain, right? You have giving and receiving. Wonderful. Remember that the frame that you're connecting, the whole center of space, involves giving and receiving, descending, ascending, transforming, becoming. That's what the center is, the unification of the direction, the 6 directions, right and left, front and back, above and below. So we are unifying all those directions into the center of space. Wonderful. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to do it again. 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that was the first fountain. Are you okay? Everything good? No questions? Are you doing good? Now we're going to do to the second part of the fountain, which we are defining the 7 centers from the inner centers, right? Foundation, self, suspended diamond, which is the release of the throat, and central crown, which is the completion of the fountain. So we go from here, from the last descending, ascending, which is 0 point, and we got it away, then we go 1, 2, 3, and we define foundation, and then outflowing wave, and we define crown. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we go to the second definition. 2, 3, and 4, ascending through centers. And now we get into self. 3, and 4. And now we're going to central heart. Yeah, I apologize. Can we start all over again? Just let's start from crown. Let's start from crown. We're gonna ascend in through center to go to central heart. Okay, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and settling earth. 2, 3, 4, ascending through centers. 2, 3, and now we go into central heart. And now we have 2, 3, and 4. Now descending, ascending, 3 to foundation, outflowing wave, and we get to crown. Now we go to the third definition, which is a suspended diamond, 2, 3, and 4, ascending through centers, the wave that is taken to suspended diamond, 4, and then descending, ascending, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we go to the fourth definition, which is central crown, 2, 3, and that was central crown, will take us to crown, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we're going to go from inflowing way to foundation to the outer mandala, ascending through center, 2, 3, and 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and touching balance, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 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 and intentions in balance, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 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 lounging to the center of the space, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, up, going way down, and just erase the movement for a second and we go from there. How is that? Are we good?
Yeah. Good.
Any questions about it? We're pretty good. Very good. We continue now. If we go to this is the whole movement that connects the fountain of life with the 4 definitions of centering, and that connect us to the inner outer mandala and touching balance. Yeah. Now we're going to go the definition of the outer mandala, and we're going to go from the outer mandala into the 3 releases. Yeah. So from 0 point balance, or from crown actually, that's where we ended last time, right? 7 and 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The definition 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The release of earth and foundation. 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. The radius of the circle. 2, 3, and 4. The definition of expansion. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Descending. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The release of expansion. 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, touching balance. 2, swing it. 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Descending. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The definition of heaven. From expansion, encircling the heart. 3 and 4. Expanding heaven, level of infinity, expansion, navigation. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The release of heaven. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The release. 1, 8 counts. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3. And heaven expanding heaven, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, inflowing wave and interchanging balance. 1.
So we're doing the outer through the inner.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Right.
So completing that movement. Let's complete it for a moment there. You're totally right. The outer through the inner. How was that one? Is it right? Are we clear with that one? 8 counts. Remember, there can be 8 counts or can be 10 counts when you're releasing heaven. And remember that when you get to heaven, if you define heaven for the first time, you're expanding heaven until the level of infinity, never infinity, the level of infinity, and all the changes that take you to expansion and to mandala crown. Yeah. So now we're going to do the mandala, inner, outer, outer, inner, and then the interchanging balance. Yeah, fantastic. So this is the completion of the definition of the inner and the outer and the inner. 6, 7, and 8, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 2, 3, and 4, entering crown. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now the inner. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, infinity. 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now the interchanging balance. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. Returning to center. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. Releasing into ground for now, because it goes directly into the lateral mandala. But let's stop for a moment here. How is that? It's okay? Okay? Wonderful. So now, any questions about this? Well, you're pretty good. I'll tell you a little bit about after we complete this part, and then I'll tell you details that we have to become more clear, more remembering all the changes. So now we're going to go to, after we're going to return to center, 3 and 4, and now we're going to move 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, horizon. Above the ground. 2, 3, and 4. And now lateral mandala. 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Horizon. 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3. Heaven and heaven release. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and again the heaven release. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3. This one goes to infinity. 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going directly to the floor. That would be the way to go to the floor. How is that? Any questions about that? We have many little details.
Just at the end, to clarify.
Yes.
After we've done the mandala, and then we do horizon to heaven again,
Yes.
so we're doing the forward release. And then are we going to I thought we went to
Swinging.
infinity both times. Are we going to heaven and then to infinity?
No,
the
I
second
go to
time?
infinity.
It goes to infinity. The second part, you repeat twice. One is the release of
Yeah,
heaven.
but the first one, I thought they both went to infinity. Does it go to heaven and then to the
They
first
both
time?
go to infinity. They do. Yeah, we start in heaven and but they both go to infinity.
Those goes to both of them go to infinity, Ellen. Then
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, you'll say it's fine. Yeah, either to infinity or heaven will be the same because they're open from the same, almost the same. Not the same. Nothing is the same. It's a little bit different. But heaven will be a place to connect them to the diagonals that it will take you to the release as well, right? So heaven is a wonderful thing too when you practice the release of heaven, because the sphere, remember the connection of the sphere completing itself, the sphere is the beginning of the release. Yeah? Yeah, this is important. Let me just, I just want to give you a little graphic for you, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hold on a second. I'm sorry not to keep you waiting.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the center of your chest right here. And let's believe this is heaven or moon, it could be any of the three. But you see right here at the center, they can crisscross into each other. The center here is, in the moment that it gets completed, is the frame in which it can take you to infinity to do the release of heaven or the release of infinity. Either way, yeah. But the center, the completion of the sphere, continued itself into the release. You don't necessarily have to think, okay, now I arrive here. It's alive, and in the aliveness, you can really go into either direction always, because this one is a little bit more complex, a little bit, because it continues into itself. It defines, but at any one moment, if you're opening 1 millimeter more, it will continue with the form. But at any one moment, can go to any diagonal, even if you don't use a circle, you can continue inside of itself.
Christy, could you do the lateral mandala one time for me? From horizon above the crown to the lateral mandala.
Okay. Remember that in the lateral mandala, we get the crescent of the moon right here.
Right.
So then and it's different because in unfolding to the moon is a gradational unfolding of right and left and front and back. Yeah. Going to the moon, right and left and front and back.
Yeah.
Going to the horizon is front and back and right and left. And then connecting to the sphere of heaven. And then from the sphere of heaven, I'm moving right there already inside of the sphere of heaven. Right here is the center between my feet, inside of the center of space. Yeah, so that is the point that initiates the release of heaven and the release of inner.
Well, this is just the lateral mandala first, but before.
Oh, I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. Yeah.
But it's great to see that, yeah.
Okay, so
above the crown.
Yeah. You want me to do a moon and around the crown and horizon and above the crown? That's what you want me to do? Yeah. So I want to show you that when you go around unfolding through it, as you're unfolding through the moon, I unfolding through my centers. Yeah. I'm not just doing the arms, right? I'm unfolding to the moon, unfolding to right here. When I'm descending, as I'm descending, I'm passing through each of the centers that is going to bring me to foundation. So it's not that my arms are going to go down. They are not going to go down. They're going to change the moving center of gravity to take me to earth and foundation. And then when I'm falling the way to horizon, the first part, horizon, this is the horizon of my heart that opened my legs and my knees and the floor. See, this is the horizon that connect me to the floor. So from there, I'm going up to heaven. And now from heaven, which is between my feet, passing through me, is where I initiate the descending spring.
Well, we're just doing the 1,000 spheres here for a second.
Oh, the thousand spheres. Okay. The thousand sphere. Each sphere is another center, changing in the center of gravity and the center of the sphere.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you. Wonderful.
So that takes practice, because what I wanted to do is just to do the sphere. You see, I wanted to do the sphere. No, each sphere is another moving center of gravity inside of myself that is bringing me into, from crown, where it started, into foundation as a result of the different spheres, not as me defining the sphere.
Right.
Because if I define the sphere, I will push the joint into my shoulder.
Right. You're right.
If I push the shoulder into my shoulder, it's okay, but I'm losing the whole fabric.
Right. Right.
I'm losing the whole matrix.
Yeah.
So that's the reason that is so crucial in that sense, because you can do anything that you want to, but if you break the matrix, then you're jumping into your mind.
Yeah.
And then the energy is here and the body is here. So the metric purpose of the metrics is to keep you always united. Yeah, wonderful. Very good, very good. So let me see. That's clear, right?
Yeah.
So I hope all this is clear. All this is clear. Forever now, we're going to clear it constantly, and eventually you're always at the center of space. Yeah.
Christy, I just wanted to say one thing. Maybe you did say it, but I was just looking at this, and to clarify, like when we're doing the 3 releases, the last release is the heaven release, and we go back to heaven, and then at the very end release, we call it the infinite release.
Oh,
the last release, we call it the infinite release. Here, I'm just looking.
So the first,
and it goes to infinity. The first one we call the heaven release. It starts from heaven and goes back to heaven. It's one of the 3 releases.
oh, okay.
And then the last time we do, it's virtually the same release, but it goes to infinity. But if we call the last one the infinite release, then it makes it a little bit more.
Thank you. That makes it more clear. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I had that other. I mean, I had that we were going to heaven, but I had that after the first release, we were actually coming back into infinity. So it's coming back into heaven first, and then opening out to the.
Well, in the 3 releases.
Oh, in the 3 releases. Oh, in the 3.
In the 3 releases.
Oh, okay.
There's the foundation release, the expansion release, and the heaven release. So
right.
In the 3 releases, the heaven release starts in heaven and ends in heaven.
Right.
And then we go through moon and around the crown, above the crown, the lateral mandala. And then when we come back again, it's virtually the same release, but we call it the infinite release. We start in heaven because it's above the crown, and then we go through the release and return to infinity. So it's just.
Carol, I have a question though. At the end of the first section where we're doing the 2 forward releases, and we start the first one in heaven, are we coming back to?
Well, and actually, in the form here, there's only 1 release at the end.
Oh.
So it doesn't matter how many we do.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter however many that you want to do.
Oh.
I think that there's just 1 at the end.
Okay.
And it opens to infinity.
It opens to infinity. Okay.
And then
I mean,
from infinity it gathers the.
But and from infinity it comes into here. So it just makes it clearer, because I like calling the last one the infinite release, because it differentiates it between the release that's one of the 3 releases.
Okay.
The wonderful thing about the infinite release, different from heaven, even though they're almost the same, once you understand, now you can understand it. But in infinity, you already are inside of the transversals as you go into the release of heaven. Yeah, because The infinity is actually the transversal. Heaven is also the transversal, but in heaven you can understand more. There is the right and the left. At the same time, there is the transversals. Yeah.
Yeah, but Christy, in that last release, we're starting from heaven and then we return to infinity. And there would be an interesting thought to do it a second time, because then you're starting from infinity the second time.
And it's
The first time you have to start from heaven because you're above the crown.
Yeah.
And then, but you go to infinity and then you can go again. That makes sense to me.
We
Yeah.
started doing the second time going to infinity.
Yeah.
Well, if you
Added
wanted,
going back into moving heart, because I thought originally we just did we just went back up to infinity and finished. I'm not sure that
yeah, that's what we did.
We didn't come
Yeah.
into moving heart and do that at the very and go to the
Yeah,
fountain. at the
Complete
very
the fountain.
So
Complete the
it
fountain.
makes sense. That's when we started, instead of only doing the one infinite release that starts in heaven, we added the second one and started doing that second one, which makes a lot of sense. So that it's just clear, I think, if then you're going to finish the second one going to moving heart.
Yeah,
The heart. Yeah, the fountain.
that's good.
And it's lovely.
But we can call the last one the infinite release.
Okay.
It distinguishes it from the one of the three release that's in the three releases.
Yeah. And then you'll discover that going from heaven to the release from heaven to the release is different than going from infinity to the release. Because when you're in heaven, you have to, even though the path it will take you to where you're going perfectly, but you will have to create a rotation of your arms a little bit more pronounced in order to be able to connect continuously to the diagonals. Because the heaven has the diagonals, but the first tendency of heaven is just to have the whole boundlessness of right and left. But we have to remember that the boundlessness of right and left in heaven, through the extension of the spine, even though it's an outer arc, is still connecting to the transversals, the diagonals. So it's not that you're going back and arching the spine. Is that the opening of the spine connects you to the entire transversal between your legs and your pelvis. So therefore, an infinity is a little bit more direct because you are already there when you go into the release. And heaven,
So that's why it's good to repeat that.
yeah, and heaven is a little bit more complex because if you just stay in heaven, you are going to lose the diagonals. So from the moment that you're moving from heaven, you have to move into the diagonals in order to be able to maintain
Well, and we're going to move the moving heart there. I mean, we're going to moving heart. So from the first, from both of them, right? We're going from heaven to the moving heart and out into
in and out of balance. In and out of balance.
In and out of balance, coming around, going up into infinity, and then again moving into and then out.
Well, for the first, after mooning around the crown and then above the crown in the lateral mandala, then we are coming from heaven. The first one.
Right.
And then we go do it, and then we come back to infinity.
Right.
And then we come back to infinity, and then we do the ending, right?
Right. Yeah. Perfect.
And I think it's suspended heart that we go through, I think.
Suspended heart.
Suspended heart. Yeah.
You're right. Not moving heart. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, suspended heart. Moving heart is the.
Different, yeah.
So this is one of the things that you discovered today in the celebration, that when you are in the celebration and you are defining the first horizontal plane, you move in the center to the center forward a little tiny bit to know that the center of the forehead, the third eye in the forehead means that the center of your head, being in the center of a space, is what produces the explosion, natural explosion that is the release of the mind. Mm-hmm. You are always releasing in the mind. Of course, heaven is a big release. But then if you go to the center of the head, that is the moment in which the center of the head right here and the third eye open as a result of the chisel nature of the center of space. The center of space is like a chisel. It's like the center of gravity, right? It's a physical phenomenon. The apple, if you let it go, it's not going to go into the direction. It's going to go exactly to the direct line to the floor. That's the physical phenomenon with gravitational field. It doesn't curve. It is instantaneously connected to the center. So that's the reason that if I try to really release the mind from this plane, it's going to sit behind my neck. I'm not going to be able to do it. So from the first horizontal, I have to move into the center of the mind. From then the center of the mind can open the sphere, then it can bring me to the center of the chest in the front. So everything has a reason. The center of gravity is a divine thing because it as a simultaneous cosmic event interconnect us to the center of the planet, to the center of everything, as a natural moment in the totality of it, not linear. You know what I mean? Not that it goes to the center of my head, the center of the chair, the center of the floor, the center of the planet Earth, the center of... No, it is, that's it. That's the function of gravity. The function of gravity is to keep everything simultaneously interrelated with the center of its being, like the center of the planet, as it corresponds to the expansion of all things. So gravity is not just only phenomenal for us, it's a phenomenal for everything.
It has a big job.
Oh, the big job. Well, because gravity is love, really.
Gravity is love.
It's the field of love. The embrace of love is what produces the life force of life, which is the expansion. Yeah, they are together. They are not separated. But if you understand that the embrace of love produces the expansion, and then the embrace of love, the expansion, becomes actualized always within the moment. Because expansion is almost like conceptual, a conceptual understanding of going in all directions. Gravity is also a conceptual understanding going in all directions, and they all get finalized in the moment itself. So that's the reason that the moment is the unity of everything. All gravitational relationships are constantly coming into their center of being at the same time that they are expanding as the relationship of all things in the one, which is now. So that's what's happening in the present moment. Yeah, the present moment is a trip because the mind begins to comprehend that the present moment is not an affirmation. No, it's the pure reality of life. Every single moment is a reality. And in the present moment, the function of the present moment is to allow all things to be manifested at the same time that they are transforming into renewal. So gravity is like a chisel, allows you to be. My nails only grow because of gravity every single moment. Everything in my body changes because gravity is the instant of life that allows me for everything to go constantly into a transformation. Everything, my skin, my muscles, every single thing is changing continuously. But I'm not aware of it because I'm mostly in my mind. But I think in my body it's okay. I'm here, blah blah blah. But once you begin to comprehend in my mind, my body is actually following the principle. The molecular structure of my body follows the principle of this universal connection of the planet Earth, or whatever you wanted to call it. The moment is crucial because it is the moment in which all past and all future come into existence. Not future as, oh, it's going to happen tomorrow, but the actual reality of the future is the actual existence of the moment transforming itself with all things. So I am in the future because I'm with everything, not because I'm going to get there from there to there. Seemingly, that's my interpretation, but that's what happens. Yeah, we are always in the future, but most of us don't know that. So we're actually most of the time in the past because of that. You know what I mean? So it's complex, but it's not. Anyway, whatever. So it became clear there is a difference between earth, heaven. If I try to go to heaven to the release, it demands from me that I'm not thinking that I'm just going to move in this dimension. Is that everything changes inside of my being. So the centers of my being are constantly related themselves as a whole system from which I come back and so forth. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry that I'm passing the time and continuing again, but I practice a little bit. I apologize to you because I thought that I wanted to spend time with the celebration because it has many nuances and we never got to it. We just did it like something that we just did. I don't know, like a ceremonial thing, but it's not. It's really actually your connection to the reality itself.
Thank you for taking the time with that today. That was great.
Thank you so much.
So, yeah, and you will discover many nuances with it, because then you can just do the salutation if you have a time and just put yourself inside of the space. You know, you only have a few minutes, and so like the fountain, you know, the fountain to put you, all the movement put you inside of a space. So if your mind, and any time you find that your mind gets a little bit topsy-turvy, or you are not sure about your energy, or something hurt, just put yourself inside of a space, and everything will come to the present, because the present is always waiting for you to catch the bus. It's like a train that is always going with another seat for you to take you into. So it's a lovely thing, you know. It's all, the present is all it is. So I love you. Have
Thank
the most
you,
wonderful
Christy.
time. I apologize for everything.
Bye, everybody. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Monday, see you next Monday with
See you next time.
with your celebration.
We celebrate everything. We have had fantastic 3 years, no?
Oh my goodness,
We started the last 3 years since we started the Zoom.
we're excited. Yeah.
Imagine? My God, fantastic. So I love you. Be well. Celebration for everything. Congratulations to everybody.
Yay.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye bye.